So, I obviously have a bunch of questions that I need to ask,
Of course,
and
no, go for it.
yeah, and some of it obviously you have talked about a lot of points, especially regarding the PUBG ban and how it has impacted NODWIN and all that. So, obviously, we don't want to reiterate any of those points, but building off of those, uh, how would you say the PUBG ban has impacted NODWIN specifically? Obviously you'd want to what invest into some other games right now. In the meantime, you've done
No,
something with
it's
yeah,
okay. Let's break this down, right?
yeah,
PUBG got banned in India,
yeah,
right? Nodwin runs PUBG in South Asia. We run it in India, we run it in Nepal, we run it in Pakistan, we run it in the Maldives, we run it in Bhutan. Every single, like SARC, we run it there, right?
hmm.
When something like this happens, unfortunately, uh, it's like having the Asia Cup without India. Should the Asia Cup happen without India?
Hmm.
Yes, it should, right? Because
Yeah,
the other countries didn't ban it. It's not the
yeah,
fault of the Sri Lankan PUBG player that India banned this. Why should he lose the opportunity of? And remember, PMPL as a structure sits above. It's a pro league structure, right? So there is the PMCO, then there is the PMPL, then there is the World League, then there is the World Championship. It's a structure. So if the structure exists and one country can't play, it is unfortunate, but the structure still survives, right?
yes,
NODWIN still supports PUBG Mobile in South Asia,
yeah,
right? Our key market and PUBG, the largest market for PUBG Mobile in the world is India, and that went down. But we still believe in the game, right? We
yes,
believe the government of India and Bluehole will eventually find a way to work together.
yes,
So this is, I often equate this to saying if you were watching any Netflix series and one of those series got curtailed because of COVID, doesn't mean that you'll not watch it when it comes back next year. It just means
yeah,
you can't watch it this year,
yes,
right?
yeah,
So yeah, it's a season. It's a season that was cut short. We believe PUBG Mobile is going to be back in the country of India into 2021. If, when, how, I don't know. But it's not an if for me. It is a 100% PUBG Mobile is coming back to the country of India. Yeah.
yeah. And I
So
saw
that
recently, you guys focused on, you did the India Play series with Fall Guys, and that was quite fun.
it
so,
was our pride. Our
obviously,
pride
right?
there was the Kira.
Yeah, and
Our pride
right
there
now
was the Kira.
you right now you have to focus on certain other games. Like, you have said in other interviews that you want to recreate the accessibility that PUBG brought, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of people were suddenly able to play that. Like, even people who may not be able to play something like CS:GO, they can play PUBG Mobile. So
Yep.
regarding that, so how does it work? Do you just look at where the
Look at the
audience interest
Premiership, right?
is? Yeah,
But let's look at it this way, right? The largest running league in the country, 9 months every year, is the Premiership, right? It is still the best league, longest league, most in-depth league that runs in the country.
hmm.
Broadcast on Hotstar, yada yada yada. Has got its sponsors bases. It has 4 games. It had PUBG Mobile this year, but Counter Strike has been there for 5 years.
Yeah,
Dota was there, it got replaced by Clash of Clans. We've also got FIFA this year. So those games are doing well as of right now. The Premiership is still doing well. The
yeah,
Premiership had PUBG Mobile. It's gone away. We'll probably replace it with games like a Valorant or a Call of Duty. And that's fine.
yeah,
And which working with publishers to see which is that game which is there. Look, IPs, communities, and gaming will survive anything
yeah,
because now it is fundamentally cultural for us. PUBG Mobile is a name which is there. Gaming is a lifestyle, right? It's a statement that I'm a gamer. Like Mortal, great example to go ahead and say, has his viewership increased on his live streams post PUBG Mobile?
hmm. Okay, that's
Why?
interesting.
He should have. He's a PUBG Mobile guy. People should have stopped watching him less. He's not doing PUBG
Yeah,
Mobile, but his community went up,
and that's
right?
great
And
for
it went up.
other games. Obviously, it's great for putting some visibility on a lot of other games. And you just
Yes.
mentioned Valorant. So what's the scene with Valorant? How interested are you in? Because CS:GO has obviously been a very big thing for quite a number of years, and Valorant has just emerged recently this year only. And suddenly like it is kind of targeting a similar demographic, a similar kind of play style.
Well, I might sound absolutely wrong for most number of people, which is there. Um, I don't think Valorant is anywhere close to Counter-Strike. I think
Yeah, yeah,
Valorant is the closest to Overwatch or to Rainbow
yeah,
Six Siege
yeah. It's kind of a
because it's got
mix.
class,
Yeah,
because it's got class-based hero system, right?
yeah,
It, it's a in Counter-Strike the fun shooting another person is not what the cornerstone of anything. It's just an FPS. But what kind of FPS? Like an objective based or non-objective based FPS? Um, the because it has 128 tick servers doesn't make it which is there. It's again objective based. People have skills. Rainbow Six, you have operators who have skills.
yeah,
In Valorant, you have operators who have skills. In Overwatch, you have operators who have skills, and you choose that operator on the basis of what you're good in, what you're not good in, because the complexity of the game, the nuances of the game, and the nuances of the esport come from the complexity that you go ahead and do on compositions of who's attacking and who's defending, rather than the pure skill play that is there. I think Counter-Strike and Valorant feed off each other.
yeah. Obviously, like it makes up an ecosystem because like there is a pool of players which is kind of fluctuating between CS:GO and something like Siege, and Valorant I think has like a good mix of both play styles. Like it kind of mixes both of them really well. Uh, so obviously, like after PUBG, like you guys are focusing on other games. That's great. You're putting visibility on other games. But
We were already supporting both of those games, which is
yeah,
there. So it's not
yeah, yeah, obviously,
it's not like we lost PUBG, which is there. So let's look at it. There has been no new game for NODWIN because of the PUBG ban. We
yes,
just doubled down on the games that we were already supporting.
yeah. That was I was coming to. So like there were some rumors going around about another ban list potentially. I mean, I hope it doesn't happen. But do you guys have any kind of contingency plan if, say, like I don't know, something like CS:GO suddenly gets slashed or something? I'm hoping that's not going to happen. It's probably won't going to be happen. But like, what
Oh,
plans do you guys
I
have?
think that, oh, yeah, an asteroid can hit the Earth, right? So, right.
Yeah,
So, um, uh, no, you have to go ahead and actually fundamentally understand that this conversation that is happening is geopolitical in nature. It has nothing to do with gaming. It has to
yeah,
do with between China and India. I think we have
yes,
much more of
exactly.
a China. You have a much more of a China risk than we have this. So CS:GO, I don't even remotely think of that as a ban right now because fundamentally it's an American corporation running. Valve
Yeah,
is out of Seattle. I see far more risk out of any other Chinese game that is large enough to go ahead and have some kind of an influence. But there is no other Chinese game that has anywhere close to that kind of influence anymore.
yeah. So, and talking about that, so there's another thing that's coming up really fast, which is cloud gaming. Like all the big companies are trying to invest in it. Microsoft is doing with xCloud, Stadia. Even xCloud was talking with Geo to bring it. So I think by next year we might have something. So obviously, right now, Nodwin, like everyone has been kind of pushed back into this work from home environment. So it's like obviously I can imagine it's a little hard to conduct tournaments like that in this kind of environment. And with
No, it's
yeah,
actually been easier. Not we've
it's
actually
easier.
done really well. Yeah, we've
Okay.
done phenomenally well during this time.
Yeah.
Um, because again, you have to go understand what's the business model of tournaments cannot be loaded and predicated only on the last finale as your monetizing metric, right?
Hmm.
The business of sports is the business of media metrics, which is there. Your lifeblood is your viewership. Your lifeblood
Yeah.
always has to be your viewership. That's like going and saying cricket does well because the stadium is full.
No, I
Yeah,
mean
sure.
obviously we're seeing that with IPL right now. What's happening like
Yeah,
with all the
exactly,
viewership.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still coming. And the does it matter that the stadium is not this a full stadium or an empty stadium is a better studio location? That's the mindset you have to have.
Yeah.
You can have a 10 people studio, a 100 people studio, or at Eden Gardens, a 100,000 people studio. It looks better.
Yes.
It feels better. 100%. Don't get me wrong. But
Hmm.
the business model of esports is not based on filling a stadium out. And if your business model was predicated on a stadium being filled out, then you were making the fundamental mistake of being an event agency. Because then there is not much difference between you and a Ed Sheeran concert.
Yeah. I mean we've seen that with a lot of streamers like because like that's the entire like the entire thing about streamers, right? Like you're playing from home, you have a digital viewership, and like you guys did it with India Plays, which was like really fun. You had lots of people joining in, and lots of people bringing their own viewership within it.
Yep.
So there's that. So I was talking about cloud gaming. So
Let me just wrap up on that. India Gaming, the India Plays is a property that we have with YouTube that
yeah.
we change the game every month, right? So
Mhm.
last time was India Plays Fall Guys. Next time will be India Plays something else, right? And why not? Why shouldn't India play Among Us or what's that new game that everyone's been playing right now? That Indian game, India Plays Ria. There is a Nodding Head Studios has just launched a new game. I
Oh,
forgot what's
Raji,
its name.
yeah,
Yeah,
Raji, which is
sorry.
coming up. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's come
yeah,
out
yeah.
already.
Yeah, it's on Nintendo Switch. It's coming. It's launching on other platforms. I think next week by
No,
15th.
see, I think it was launched yesterday. I saw the live stream happening on
Yeah, it's a
Steam.
demo. Yeah, yeah. The demo has
Yeah.
launched.
Yes.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. Why shouldn't we play Raji? Why shouldn't we
Yeah,
support
that's
Indian?
great.
Why not? So we can
Yeah,
figure
yeah.
out
That.
these really cool to go ahead and do where streamers, everyone can get together to go ahead and play some stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like pushing the Indian game development through this platform is a great initiative. So like Raji, I would love to see Raji make its way to like whatever happens next month or something. If you whenever that India Place comes back.
Yep.
So I was talking about cloud gaming. So what do you guys, what does NODWIN have in plans for, like you must have some plans for conducting because cloud gaming, what it's going to do is bring some of these PC games which are not accessible to some people. Like if you don't have the hardware, suddenly you can play it with your phone, which is like similar to a lot of games like PUBG and Free Fire, which are playing locally. But now, like say a version of Rainbow Six
Yes.
Siege comes on the cloud or CS comes on
Yep.
the cloud. So suddenly a large pool of people is now able to play that game which they weren't before. So
Yep.
that also translates into viewership,
Yep.
which might like come into whenever the next like obviously now DreamHack and ESL they announced a merger, but whenever the next big physical like after COVID situation we have a whole match. So you might see an uptick in viewership. You might see an uptick in player registrations for matches. So how you guys thinking about handling cloud gaming when it does come to end?
In gaming, we have a joke that goes on. It's like there is something called blizzard time, right? And it's like soon is a
Yeah.
train. So
Yes,
something will
obviously.
happen
Yeah.
soon. Look, short answer to this question is it's above our pay grade. We understand how we are users of this. If and when it lands in India, we will fully support it. We do want it to be. We believe either an Airtel or a Geo will be very actively involved because you'll need that. We believe an Nvidia would be very strongly involved with their acquisition of ARM and its data centers that is there. We believe a bigger play for Google is more the Stadia plus YouTube integration is potentially a bigger, better bet than xCloud currently because Microsoft let go of Mixer. Amazon eventually has to figure it out itself where how Twitch works in India because Twitch fundamentally is a see. I understand where Twitch comes from, right? Everyone keeps on saying why is Twitch not in India? Twitch's tech stack does not support the Indian consumer really well. Twitch is really good on the desktop. Twitch kind of sucks really bad on mobile, right? That's the problem. And Twitch is nowhere in the world. Nowhere in the world is Twitch on a mobile stack. Twitch is fundamentally a desktop environment for consumption. I think over 85% of its consumer base comes from there. And monetization works on it, bits works on it. The super interactivity with Twitch Plays or even Twitch Elements and Twitch extensions all works on the desktop. None of them work on the mobile. And I think that there is a value space that is currently available for someone to go ahead and figure out a cloud gaming strategy which is mobile first. if you look at how Microsoft Game Pass is doing, 50 rupees onboarding, unlimited number of games, 4.99 a month, which is there.
Yeah.
I think it's a great value proposition. I
Yes.
love what Microsoft has gone and done with Microsoft Game Pass on PC. Game Pass on PC plus xCloud for single player game experiences will do extremely well with Microsoft. I think
Yeah.
Microsoft has a leg up there. On multiplayer game experiences, no, because Microsoft doesn't have because they don't have a great broadcast experience. The ability to, but if they integrate well with YouTube, maybe. But eventually any platform does really well when there is a very high amount of discovery that is possible.
Yeah.
And discovery, as of right now, there are 4 people. The FANGs are competing. No Netflix, but everyone except the Netflix, the Facebook, Amazon, Google, Microsoft are all competing in that space. Facebook is attacking through Facebook Gaming. It's launched in India. They're trying to go ahead and scale up its presence. But their problem is they don't have a store yet. They want to have a store, but they don't have a store yet. They've tried it before. I don't know how many people still love Facebook for going and doing this. And its apps are not integrated. For example, Instagram, the great discovery app, is not integrated with Facebook Gaming. Facebook Gaming is not integrated with Facebook as such, right? So it's just a disparate app. Which is there. YouTube plus Stadia plus Google Play Store, extremely good for India, right? Discovery, adaptability, discovery, download and play. Great sequence. Amazon has a problem with Twitch where it has a discovery platform, but that's not relevant in India, and its Amazon Underground Play Store is available, but was not really compatible with Google because Google and Amazon keep on hating each other. So then you're left with saying, "Kaun karega? Kaise karega?" And obviously you'll have a Jio in there, and you'll obviously have a Airtel in there trying to do some stuff. So as of right now, on cloud gaming, single player experiences, xCloud plus Microsoft, multiplayer experiences, and scale up YouTube plus Google.
Got it. That makes sense totally. And I had a question regarding. So you guys, obviously, there's been this debate about because with Paytm and Google Play, whatever happened just recently, there's been this debate about games of skill versus real money, and you guys have talked about a little bit in some other interviews and places. And I saw obviously Nazara, the parent company of NODWIN, does engage with fantasy sports. I guess like we have to classify them differently.
No, there's no Halla Play, which is there. Which is there. We hate them doing it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Of course, we absolutely disagree with them. They might be our parents and whatever, but they have no say in operations of NODWIN at all.
Okay.
And when we are a fully independent company, and we believe real money gaming in India is a regulatory black hole, gambling even more. Until the time that is not there, we believe esports doesn't deserve any gambling.
Yeah.
Not a chance. Not skill-based gaming. We are not skill-based gaming. We are a sport. We are a sport because the physicality of responses of our participants leads to the result of the winner. And esports is fundamentally a speed competition.
Yes.
I'm faster than you. I'm faster than you in with my eyes to notice what is happening, my brain, and then my hands to respond, with my mouth to go and tell my teammates what's happening. I use multi senses, which is minimum of 2, to go ahead and be faster than my competitor, and that is why I am better. That is why I am a sport. I'm not a game. Chess is a game. Great game. I love chess, but it's a game.
Yeah.
Right. Even speed chess is a game, because you don't. It's not about the speed of responses is not there. You can blink your eyes and you can actually literally go with your mouth, and a person who's a quadriplegic can go ahead and play chess and speed chess. Right. You can literally say knight to bishop e4.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. And I was gonna bring up the same thing. Like you said, like you guys don't agree with the real money gaming, and so there must be a.
I'm absolutely real money gaming.
Okay.
I'm absolutely, which is there. So let's look at, not everything in India if someone does is new. All the real money gaming guys either want to be draft kings out of the US, which is regulated by the Gambling Commission of the US, or want to be Skills, who's going and doing an IPO. Look at both of them. The DraftKings is a daily fantasy kind of an ecosystem controlled by the Gambling Act of the US. Skills does not say they are esports. They call themselves competitive gaming. As long as people say two people playing Candy Crush for 10 rupees against each other is competitive gaming, I have no problem. They're not esports.
Yeah, obviously.
Because they're not predicated on, okay, again, business model time, right? What's the business model of esports? Business model of esports is the money you make from sponsorships, media rights, and from franchising. That's where you make money. Yeah. What is the business model of a brokerage? The business model of a brokerage is making small amounts of commissions from the transfer of wealth from winners and from losers to winners. That's brokerage. So Zerodha makes money how? For every transaction that someone sells and for every transaction that someone buys. Right? That's how Zerodha makes money. It doesn't care whether the stock is going up or down. It literally does not care whether it's there. How do all the RMG companies who call themselves esports companies make money? They make money from you, me, and Gaurav going and paying 10 rupees and you winning 25 rupees.
Yeah.
It is a distribution of wealth between the players.
Yes.
And they keep 5 rupees, or the platform keeps 5 rupees. Now, let's go ahead and, so once we have established that that's how you make money, how will you make more money? By having more matches. That means you need more losers than you need winners. Right? So you are taking money from people and giving it to other people, and the platform keeps money. However, now let's assume that all three of us are playing the same game. All three of us pay 10 rupees, and you're the best. And let's say we are playing FIFA 21 because you have the t-shirt on, right? So let's say we all play a game of FIFA. Yeah, join the club. But the FIFA 21 esports competition. Yeah. So all of us play right now, you win. Then all of us play again, you win. Then all of us play again, you win. Will I play the fourth time? I'm like, fuck this. I'm not going to go ahead and do this. Rahul's going to be the guy who's going to be winning all the time, because I'll stop playing because you're better than me. Yeah. Because there is no match. So what you need in a good competition is balanced matchmaking. That means all of us should be at the same level, where one of us is going to, like, you're not going to win all the time because I'm better than you sometimes.
Make a level playing field.
But you cannot go ahead and build matchmaking unless you have critical mass and unless you invest a lot in the technology and you have integration within FIFA itself, which now EA should be doing these matches anyway. Yeah. If you're a third party sitting on top of it, you're saying, I can't do matchmaking. So the only way you can go ahead and do this is to go ahead and create a chance, like literally create chance. That means if I touch a red handkerchief in my pocket, if I wear my favorite underwear, if I touch my mother's feet 4 times, I ring the bell of 4 gods, which is there, I will suddenly win. Right? And the chance of me winning, irrespective of your skill, my chance, my luck beats your skill, is the chance that the business model survives. Then I'll keep on doing it, because there is a chance. Where now the model is, when we were just talking about it, 10 rupees, you win 25, 10 you win 25. But what if I win because I'm lesser than you, I win 100? I'll keep playing.
Yeah.
Right? My chance of winning is much higher. But the only way that chance of winning can actually come in is by chance. And by the definition of that chance, it goes away from a game of skill to a game of chance. And that's what the esports problem is there.
Yeah. And I agree. Like, obviously, there is sort of a conflict of interest between your stance on this. And obviously, like, Nazara hasn't entered the Indian market with those games. But if it does happen, like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, how are you going to...
We will oppose it.
You will?
100%. You can quote me on it.
That's nice. I will.
If Nazara goes and does skill-based gaming in India, NODWIN does not stand for gambling in esports.
Yeah, absolutely.
No chance.
That's
We're too young. We die.
Yeah.
Well, it's just too young. Like, government is anyway saying sometimes that, gaming eats your brain or something, right? Like, and then you want to go ahead and give them more fodder by going and saying, "Isme to gambling bhi hai, tab to matlab pagal hi hai ye to matlab."
Yeah.
What are we saying? What, like?
And they're also bundling all of these, like they're bundling esports and the gambling games together, which shouldn't be.
Yeah, exactly. And because
Yeah.
I understand, it's not there who's doing it. It's other venture capitalists who are putting money behind those RMG companies, and those RMG companies, to get away from regulations, call themselves esports. But that's wrong. They're not esports. They're just competitive gaming, and we are okay with it, right? You can't call people Sona just because it looks the same and it's very convenient for your valuations.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Not me making the definition. Then worldwide, we have the common definition of esports. Only in India, there's some people are like, no, but this is esports. No, bhai, aisa na ho payega.
And I want to get back to this thing, to the PUBG situation. So there were some reports that a lot of players weren't like still waiting for prize money from some of the matches that in Tencent South Asia that were held. So, like, what's the situation there? Like, is it still, are players still waiting on some of the prize money or what?
No, so let's actually define what the process is. The money doesn't come from NODWIN. This is not a NODWIN tournament, right? NODWIN is the executor of this tournament.
Sponsorship
the owner
based.
of this tournament. No. The owner of this, the prize comes from Tencent.
Yeah.
Right? Tencent is the owner of this. So they tell us, hey, Akshat, go ahead and distribute this money to these number of people.
Yeah.
So there is a process that they come up, Tencent comes up with a process, gives it to us, we go ahead and distribute it. It is also based, so that's on the supply side of the money. On the distribution side of the money, there are compliances that are required. Right? Esports is becoming proper. So when I give you money, I have to go ahead and declare to the income tax department, why am I giving you this money? Right? And you can say, hey, it's prize money, right? But then like prize money for what? For this tournament, right? And as soon as you do that, if I'm giving you money, because of the laws of our country, I need things from you. I need your PAN card.
Yeah.
Right? And if you don't give me your PAN card, I can't give you money. Some people don't have bank accounts. Some kids don't have that. So it's nice to say, send us the money. Now, sometimes it happens as you, no longer has a time limit. Thank you.
That's right.
The next part of this was when you actually have money that is supposed to be going out, if you don't give your Aadhaar card, you also have to claim your money. Now, some people go ahead and play for, say, A team, but when they're claiming money as a B team. Like some other person will say, hey, I've changed my team. However, you don't have things like NOCs from your previous team. Right? And the previous team, and we know how players, and we just keep on saying now Antidote is poaching someone else and doing some whatever which is there. People don't have continuity, which is there. So as of right now, when you played this tournament, if you played it from a private limited organization that has your representation, then that team is the one who's going to get your money. So sometimes players don't give NOCs. Sometimes organizations don't give NOCs. And you keep on following up with them, saying, can you please give this? But because they don't want to have the hard conversation between their team owners and whatever, they're like, but it's NODWIN's job to give me money. I'm like, I can only give money to one person. If I give it to you and your team owner comes and says, Mujhe kyun nahi diya? I can't pay two people. So why don't you both decide who I have to give this money to?
So it does come down to a lack of organization at a certain level with the teams, with the
and
players.
We have paperwork and contracts.
Yeah.
No, and we have paperwork and contracts, right? For example, when you played, like, let's say you played for this, we had you say, please give, and as this is not happening with Entity, but let's take an Entity's example. If you were Ghatak and you're saying, I played with Entity right now, please go ahead and give the money to Entity. When you signed on, we are good, you're good, everything, money comes in, goes straight away. Ghatak now moves to Orange as an example, which is there. Now Ghatak writes to us, where is my money? And we're like, got the money, you said give it to Entity. No, you have to give it to me.
All right.
But Ghatak has not said it. Entity has not said it. This is just as an example.
Yeah, we can clarify that.
That's where we get into. That's always where we get into trouble, because people and teams have fights, and till the time they don't resolve, I can't even pay either one of them. Right? It's not my job. To me, this is a civil dispute. They need to resolve who it is, because team says pay me, the player says pay me.
Right. Thanks for like clarifying some of that. I mean, I'm sure we don't
And
like.
you always find this to be an exception case, right? It'll
Yeah.
not be, hey, everyone doesn't go ahead and do this. A typical payout time is between 60 and 90 days,
All right.
right? But it is 60 to 90 days at the end of the tournament.
Yeah.
And sometimes those tournaments last 2 months. So from the day one, they'll be like, यार जिस दिन से पहला मैच खेला था 5 महीने हो गए, मेरे को पैसे नहीं मिले.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but it's a 3-month long tournament. Like you can only have PMCO finish for me to pay PMCO. You have to have PMPL finish for me to pay PMPL.
Yeah, because like it's the countdown starts from towards the end of the tournament. So by then you're adding another 60 days or another 90 days of process. So like I get that part. So I also want, like, this is probably the last topic that I want to touch on, and then we can just go like free. We could just talk freely. So earlier this year we had let's just call it an incident with the CS:GO caster Manu Krat. And so after the whole incident, obviously NODWIN did put out a statement, and he was put on probation.
He was
Sorry.
He was terminated.
He was terminated. Okay.
He was terminated. So first, during the investigation, we put him on probation, and I think we finished the investigation in 48 hours, where he was terminated.
Yeah. So you guys have completely broken contact with him then?
Yeah, he's not an employee of NODWIN. We do not work with him.
Okay.
He has come and done one content piece, but that was for a client who hired him.
Okay. So like you were the mediator for that, because like
we were the place where the shoot happened.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, because you have a platform, and so like that kind of plays into it.
Like if someone like a Tencent comes and says, "Ye content piece karna hai, ya ye kuch karna hai," and this person is going to come here, okay, that's fine. But you can call tomorrow. Like it could be Shah Rukh Khan who's coming. We don't represent Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah, obviously, I get that. So I mean, that was pretty much all I had. I mean, we don't, like TechQuila, we don't necessarily cover esports as much, but like for this, like I had to go some digging. I had to look into what has been happening over this year. I mean, it's been a hard year for everyone. It's been like everyone's been kind of cooped up at their homes. So hopefully by the end of this year or by next year early, we can all rest easy. So we can just talk freely now, I guess. Looking forward to the next gen consoles.
Yeah.
Or you're more of a PC guy? What?
My problem with the meh is, see, I'll tell you, the problem is not the consoles. The problem is the console market is predominantly, consoles are like one-day cricket. PCs are like test match.
Yeah, I am a primarily PC gamer.
So PC has to be done on a proper thing. It has to have the proper kit, the proper pad, this, and obviously takes about ₹1,00,000 above to go out and invest in it, to go out and do it, right? Mobiles are 2020. It's chumma, time pass, do what you want, how you want it, which is great. It one helps the other as long as it's gaming, right?
Yeah.
The problem with consoles is they only do well when Call of Duty or FIFA launch.
Yeah, specifically in India. Yeah.
Yes. So those are the only two reasons you play console. I'm sure you'll find some. We've done this, right? We've done KO Fight Nights where we have supported Street Fighter and Tekken and Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Doesn't get a great amount of traction. We've tried. FIFA does okay-ish. More people like to play FIFA than they like to watch FIFA. It's a
I guess it's also has to do a little bit with accessibility, right? Like getting into mobile gaming is much easier for someone. Like if I'm watching someone play a game, and if I can play the game, then obviously I'm gonna tap, like I'm gonna watch that more. But with FIFA or something,
India also likes the parent buying proposition.
Yes.
Just a dedicated gaming device, which is a console, is always a harder sell than a mobile or a PC.
It happened with me. Now, obviously, now I have a PS4, I have a PC, but before this, like just the idea of getting a machine सिर्फ गेमिंग के लिए है, बल्कि हाँ अच्छा गेम का भी पैसा है, बल्कि हाँ उसका भी अलग से है। उसका भी
ये तो
4,000
चांस
एक
ही
एक
नहीं
गेम का है, नहीं होने वाला।
चांस ही नहीं है, ना
तो
हो
अभी
पाएगा so
या
no
लाइक
because that's how parents think right like it's like
या
चल अच्छा कंप्यूटर है gaming computer है so I'll give you a funny analogy next gen console 30-40,000 approximately just
या
parents would be okay with you getting a 30,000 rupees incremental graphics card. So going from a 70,000 rupees PC to a 1,10,000 rupees PC,
या
then they would have to go ahead and get a PC and a console. They're like, नहीं चलो PC में पढ़ाई तो करेगा, कुछ तो सीखेगा.
That's kind of what
Right?
I
That's
said
the
to my parents when building this PC.
there you go, right?
Yeah.
It's just an incremental thing, हाँ. लेकिन इससे your graphics card, you can go ahead and say, oh, it has X number of CUDA cores, and my animation and my
मैं एडिटिंग
rendering
करूंगा.
will become easy. My editing करूंगा. They're like, but everything is around. Like parents care about their kids, not just wasting time, about having skills and a career, right? And they still don't get the career aspect of playing games. They still
Yeah.
get the career like चल phone पे है चल Netflix देख लेगा, Khan Academy देख लेगा, Byju's कर लेगा, upgrade कर लेगा, कुछ तो करेगा, right? But console pay that penny has not dropped in India, and while it has dropped in the US predominantly and Japan, because the history of console gaming from the arcades to the living rooms was based on communities gathering together around that. So in the US,
Yes.
whether you were playing Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man or Contra or wherever, you came up from the arcade that used to be big. That arcade came to your house, and now you and your mates sit down and play COD, or you'll play Fortnite, or you'll play this because it's community based.
Yeah.
Which is there. The way that communities aggregate around consoles in the US and Japan is what makes consoles strong. The same thing is PCs. PCs are predominantly a North Europe manifestation.
Yeah.
Where it's Sweden and there, and that culture then went to China and South Korea specifically with their PC bank culture, which is there. So there are 200 PCs together in a big LAN cafe, and then you used to see StarCraft happening, and then you used to start following StarCraft because other people in physical proximity of you were playing that. And in mobile in India, that's where we've gathered together.
Yeah.
That's the reason why communities are very important for mobile, and communities are not very important around consoles in the country. The largest console community in the country of India is either Chennai or Punjab, because both of them have American cousins.
Okay.
Two markets, 60%
Yeah.
of the total market of consoles in the country.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, obviously, like I've been seeing
Because
a
their
place.
cousins are playing, right?
Yeah. अमेरिका वाले अंकल ले आएंगे.
No, not ले भी आएंगे. You can play with them. Your cousin.
हाँ.
Every serious household who can afford a PlayStation or a Xbox in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu right now, has a cousin they can play in the US.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Punjab in Canada.
Yeah.
Or the UK. Right? That's why those two things which are there, because communities are already pre-formed around those.
Yeah. And I've been just waiting for PS5 info to drop. I mean, I don't know what Sony's happening. Like every time PlayStation puts out a tweet, PlayStation India, it's wreckfest in the comments.
Why don't you just talk to Prashanto?
I haven't been able to get in contact with him. Seriously.
Drop me a mail. I'll introduce
Yeah, sure. Because I mean, obviously, I think because abhi to this trademark thing also happened, so like it's probably going to be delayed. Who knows?
No.
I just find it surprising because like PlayStation has what 8x the audience. Obviously, it's a small audience worldwide sales ke hisab se, but they have like an 8x amount of user base compared to Xbox this generation, and Xbox has been doing really well. Like they announced the pricing pre-order, same date pay. Pricing is like this already kind of going into discount. The Series S apparently like Flipkart pay, I think sale pay is gonna go on discount on 30K, which is that's kind of good like compared to a 50K console. But they also didn't think of it because the day one buyers are always enthusiasts who want the higher end thing.
And that's the thing, that they're trying to go ahead and get people who would still be interested, because most of those people will go buy the next generation console, right? So
yeah.
So I think PlayStation has done really well in India as such. I think you should talk to Prashanto. He's a really kick-ass guy. He's the head of PlayStation in India.
Yeah. I know. He did an interview recently with I'm forgetting which website he did with, but they were talking about PlayStation India and how they've been doing pretty well. Like games have been, some games like Ghost of Tsushima sold out in day one, which like I couldn't get my hands on it on day one because it sold out. So that's something
You
they
could have just
should.
bought it online.
I couldn't. So I was waiting for a review code, and something happened. I couldn't get my hands on it, and by the time I realized it sold out, so I'm just gonna play it on PS5. अभी मैं PS5 पे खेलने वाला हूँ. Like I have my backlog thing just ready. I'm just waiting for the console to drop.
You should buy all those games online. Physical discs are going to go away.
Yeah, I'm getting the disk drive version. I like the flexibility. Like, चलो ठीक है, थोड़ा extra ले लो, but it's fine. Obviously, I have more digital games than physical right now.
We should talk once about my libraries. I think I have a 4,000 game library on Steam and EA and Origin and
even PC, it's very weird. Like we have different ecosystems on PC, so it's like with Epic Games when they entered and they had exclusivity deals with games. It kind of became the same thing that has been going on with consoles, right? Because like this game is not on PlayStation, this game is on Xbox, and either be same hone lag gaya. Like this game is on Epic Games, it's not on Steam. But Epic Games has been kind of killing it. Like Epic Games,
it's a sustainability problem, right? So for example, most games that have, it's a timed exclusive problem, right? So timed exclusives work as market entry strategy, not as sustainability strategies, right? And Epic needs to go ahead and do something to go ahead and get people to download the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, I mean, they've been giving out like 2 games every week or every 2 weeks, and like without even me realizing, like I claim it every week, and abhi, if I open this client, I'll have some 50 games which I didn't even realize I have. So that's a pretty big bet they're doing.
Me, that problem. Well, while I love Epic Games, which is there, I think the subscription system that Microsoft has offered with their gaming features is far better. So nearly every game that is free on the Epic Game Store, except Epic exclusives like Fortnite or something, are available on the Microsoft Game Store. And on EA Origins. So between, if you have EA Origins, if you have Microsoft Xbox PC gaming system, Microsoft, what is it called?
What Game Pass Ultimate?
Games for PC, Xbox Ultimate.
And so they have PC regional pricing also, which is pretty nice. Like, they haven't increased it, even though in the US it's like $15, $10. Either it's the maximum one is 1,000 rupees.
And and Steam and Microsoft, again, because of regional pricing, are killing it. So to me, the Epic value is great. I love the Epic Game Store. But think about it. Besides Fortnite, how many games would you go ahead and play on the Epic Game Store right now? If you play PC. You'll have it. I have it. I download the games. I claim the games every single time.
But and it all comes to the exclusives, right? Like Control and like any timed exclusive. Like we have to play. Like I am going to review some game like Control, so obviously I'm gonna have to play it there. Option nahi hai.
Yeah. And if you now go ahead and look at the number of people who are playing Control, and that's a good example, and you go to PC on Steam and actually see the concurrents, and if you look at the Epic concurrents, which is there, despite it being an exclusive on there, Steam has more concurrents than Epic.
Yeah, there were some people obviously who waited for it, like who were just like some of these games got like review bombed at start when it came to like Steam. But then it's crazy.
That was the funniest part. People were doing tech support on Steam for Epic games because there was no tech support there. And there were a lot of like, this game is not on Steam. Yeah, but we had to go out and find support somewhere.
I added my Epic games to the Steam client, like just so I can have the Steam UI.
So because we get used to certain things, right? It's the
Yeah.
same war that is happening on Netflix and Amazon Prime and what are the other three services? Z5 and what are the other ones I use?
Hotstar,
Disney.
Disney Hotstar.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys had a
Yeah.
tie-up with Hotstar, no? With for ESL or something recently.
We still do. Yeah.
You still do, right?
We have we have exclusives with Airtel, with Sony, with MX Player, with
Yeah.
Disney Hotstar, YouTube, Facebook, all.
Yeah, so that's great. That's nice. You can have an extra, and you're also streaming on YouTube also. So
Right.
like that's great for extra viewership. But I mean, some of these apps, obviously, I feel like they have to put some more work into it. Like especially something like Z5 or something. They like
Don't get
they do not work
don't-
well on the TV. They do not. Those apps are really bad. Only Netflix is really good. Prime is fine. Hotstar thoda theek hai. But the other ones, yeah, they need better UI experiences.
because it's the
Yeah.
design for your phone. They're designed for the big interface.
Yeah.
So it's
Twitch
how
ka bhi
where
to,
you come from.
like Amazon Prime in the US, they have Twitch Prime. But like it was interesting. India mein they did they have Amazon Prime Gaming, but it's mostly what in-game rewards, I think, for like Free Fire and PUBG and stuff like that.
4 games. Five
Yeah.
games now. WCC, Free Fire,
Yeah.
PUBG Mobile, a couple of other US games or whatever. So
Yeah.
eventually they'll have to launch something else.
Yeah. There needs
I
to
have
be a
another
lot of
call
work.
starting in the next 5 minutes. Yeah, I have a call starting in the next 2 to 3 minutes. But anything else you want to talk about?
No, this is perfectly fine. We had a cool chat. Thanks for answering all the questions, honestly.
Of course. No, why not?